In this video, I will show you how to precisely place a beveled piece on your layout lines in the middle of a panel. So stay tuned. Okay, so I want to precisely put a beveled piece into the middle of a board, just like this. So what I did is I laid it out here. Okay, I laid out my line, and if we can get in here, cameraman, I laid in my line here. Okay, so I'm gonna step through this with you step by step, so hopefully I could take a lot of the confusion away. Because in the past, I've showed you how to take the board and fold it forward and work off the base of the domino, but this is a different animal, because you see how I laid that out? This is 18mm plywood, but my layout lines will tell you it doesn't follow that same pattern. And we have to go in, and I cut this on a 22.5 degree, so I'll teach you a few more things about the domino machine as we go through this. So I chose a 5x30mm domino. And also, I'm going to eyeball it. Come in here, cameraman, so you'll see this. I put a 5mm bit on there, but if I went in the middle of the board, say leaving the plate height at 20, I stand a chance of coming through. So I want to place this domino at the very top, so I'm going to bottom out my plate. Now I cut this at 22.5 degrees. Right away, you're going to say, okay, I'll set my fence at 22.5. It's not. It is actually the complementary angle, which is, and there's a positive detent on your domino at 67.5. 22.5 and 67.5 equals 90. Because we're going to work the plate off this part right here. Good. Now, the other thing is to make sure that this domino goes in here like this. I'm going to bottom out this gauge block, okay, and that allows me to go at 6mm, and that way there, and I always check right here, you'll see how that bottoms out right there. That allows me to go 6mm from this top in to the center of the bit. So another way that I always verify that I'm checking the right angle of my fence is you'll see how it's flat here, and that fence right there is flat there, and I'm going to take it one step further for this particular application. See that right there? That right there, and I'm going to make a mark on my board, is the exact center of the domino. So let's do a quick verification. We know that this plate was bottomed out at 6mm. I made that mark right there, okay, on the center line, and I just want you to see this. It's exactly 6mm from this face here. And you can see that 6mm. So I have my plunge depth set at 15mm, because that's half a 30 if I remember correctly. I have everything set. I'm gonna do them in a tight setting. Okay, but I'm going to use the flaps from either side. So here we go. Okay, and as you can see, I'm right at the very top. So in a previous video, we call it domino in the middle, we were putting it at a 90 like this. But this is the back of the bevel, okay, right here. And we know it's a lot wider because we've cut this on the bias, which widens this whole surface. So we need to, the distance from the bottom or the base of the domino to the center is what? Is 10mm. On the Domino 500, it's 15mm if you have that, and you're utilizing that, and you're doing thicker materials. So now, this is why I measured, because we're at the top, that was 6mm. So you just gotta do the math. If I need to do this, I need to move it back, what? 4mm to get it exactly where I want on the 6. So I'm just going to take a quick measurement. I'm going to scribe a line right here at 4mm, just like that. And that way there I can still utilize this machine's base to get exactly where I want. And I'm just going to take and bring that directly across. So another quick reference for all of this, come here cameraman so you can see it. You'll see right here, that is the bottom of the bevel, okay? And my measurement right here is 4 millimeters back. So I'm just gonna take my machine, I'm gonna utilize those flaps again. Now you can do a couple of things. You can make them tight or you can make them loose. I just wanna show you in the tight setting. So one of the things I always like to show everybody is when I'm doing my dry fit on this, these can be rather tight. I don't ever take off the face. I just do a couple of passes on this little rib on here just to make it a little bit easier. Just like that. Much better for dry fit. Same thing with this one. You're gonna use a hand sanding block. I just have this. So I get the tenons in. Yes, I did them in the tight. You could have done these with a little lateral tolerance. That's the front, that's the bottom of it. And let's check it out. Look at that, right in. It lines up right on my bottom right there. And that is how you get a beveled piece in the middle of a board. Hey! Be positive and stay sharp.